These are Thoughts from My Car, Episode 6. Been a while since you heard that one, hasn't it? I'm Rob from s.g.n.r Photo, and I want to thank you for once again tuning in to the only known photography-based podcast that's willing to admit that it's recorded from inside of a moving vehicle and not just sounding that way. Even though this is episode 6 of the series of podcasts that I call Thoughts from My Car, in the spirit of Hollywood, over the past few years, I'm going to reboot this one, and I'm going to call this episode 1. Episode 1 of 2015, and just sort of episode 1 overall of the new style of podcast. This is not going to be the same podcast it was in 2014. Sort of a long, rambling, stream of consciousness, topical mishmash of stuff. Now, it's not going to be completely structured and boring either. There's still going to be quite a bit of freeform going on, but there's going to be some major changes, which is why I've decided to call it officially a reboot of the podcast. The very first thing is it's going to be a lot shorter episode to episode. We're not going to be putting out an hour-long podcasts once a week because there's not always going to be that much to talk about. And some of the topics that I would be talking about here in my car could probably be better fleshed out and delivered maybe a little bit better in the other podcast we're doing called Tales from the Creek. So I'm not fully cannibalizing this one to boost up the other. I just want to make each of the podcasts a little more to the point. One of the problems that Thoughts from My Car suffered from initially was it just went everywhere for an hour or more at a time. And just listening back to it was exhausting. So I can only imagine how it felt for most of you. The second thing is, because it's going to be shorter, we're going to be putting these out a little bit more often. It's easier to put out more short episodes than it is to kind of congeal a whole bunch of random mishmash topics into one big long podcast. And congeal is probably the best word I could use to describe what the old podcasts were like. Finally, the podcast is getting the reboot for purely practical reasons, somewhat embarrassing reasons. I can't find the audio files for the first 5 episodes. I have the YouTube videos. They're already up on the site. The Tales from the Creek Entertainment YouTube channel has a playlist of podcasts, and all of the Thoughts from My Car podcasts are listed there in sort of video form. But for some reason, the place that I was hosting the original 5 podcasts managed to delete my MP3 files, and I don't have the original WAV files. So I really don't have a way for anyone to download the early episodes, and because of that, I'm just pretty much going to start over with it, just call it a mulligan, start fresh in 2015, and move forward from there. So to make a short story long, which is something I'm incredibly gifted at, welcome to Thoughts from My Car, Episode 1. Now that we've finished talking about how we've established Episode 1 and gotten to the point where we can safely call this Episode 1, what are the next episodes going to look like? Well, thankfully, the future of s.g.n.r Photo is looking a lot brighter than it did in 2014. 2014 was a slow year. Part of it was slowed just because of personal reasons, family reasons. Some of it's had to do with health reasons, both my own and family health. Most of it has been because that sort of creative spark, photography-wise, kind of left me a little bit in 2014. I'm not going to lie. there was a little bit of creative lull going on, and rather than put out a whole bunch of lackluster stuff that was just going to be somewhat embarrassing later on, I kind of put it on hold, took a step back, try and recharge the creative batteries and go back at it with sort of a renewed sense of purpose. And thankfully it didn't take me all of 2014 to do this. I was able to put together some really great photo shoots toward the tail end of the year. I had an absolutely fantastic wedding shoot during the year, which really helped me out in terms of creativity, in terms of finding that little spark that had maybe gone out a little bit. So the creative energies have slowly been coming back and building in force, right on time for the new year to kick off. Of course, some of those creative energies have gone into some of the side projects, sort of sister projects to s.g.n.r Photo. One of them, of course, being the Grand Bastardo, which is an animated web series that is currently about 8 or 9 episodes in, with a few extra bonus holiday episodes thrown into the mix. There's also been the launch of Tales from the Creek Entertainment, which is sort of the grand umbrella type of thing that all these various media projects will rest under. And of course, s.g.n.r Photo with the website, photography, Facebook fan page, and of course the podcast. So there's been a lot going on recently after a somewhat long hiatus. And the good news is that it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. I'm already putting the finishing touches on the first of what will become many s.g.n.r Photo videos. The video content will be out in force over the next little while, which is a good thing. In addition, there's going to be shorter podcasts that will be coming out more often for s.g.n.r Photo. So topics will be a little crisper, a little more concise. And for those of you who heard that, I will also be making sure that I turn off the ringer on my cell phone so that way alerts and messages don't interrupt. But you get the idea. 2015 is going to be a year of content, and it's going to start early, and it's going to carry forward. There's a lot to talk about, and I look forward to talking to all of you about it. And of course, you can be part of this whole content parade or content creation or whatever it is that you want to call it, because there's ways that you can participate in it all. Of course, there's always feedback and comments that you can leave both on the YouTube channel, where this will be hosted, and of course on whatever website that this is hosted at, or whatever web space this is hosted at. There will definitely be comments, or a way to leave comments through the s.g.n.r.photo website once I post this. In addition, I'm still inviting people to submit questions for topics that they would like to hear me discuss, questions they may have about photography, or questions that they may have about my editing style, or things that they want to see. Who knows, maybe shoot requests, or challenges, or what have you. Those can always be sent to me as well, and I'll give you my contact information in just a moment. And of course, there is the classic, well, hopefully soon to be classic, hashtag #AskSGNR, which is where people can submit their questions and whatnot through Twitter, and I can get back to people in that way. So I'm hoping that not only is 2015 a year of more content produced by me, but also content that's inspired by all of you. One of the things that I'm really encouraging is sort of the audience participation factor. People getting involved, people letting their voices be known. What is working? What's not working? What do you want to see more of? What would you rather never see again? That type of thing is helpful. It actually helps to make the content better for each and every one of you. And that's the goal. The ultimate goal to all of this is to create a channel of content for you to enjoy that you find entertaining and worthwhile. And it starts with your participation and ends with me listening to you and creating the content based on what you've asked for. So those are the types of things that I look forward to. I look forward to creating content for all of you. I look forward to hearing your feedback and taking it from there. And that is pretty much all there is to say for this episode. Like I said, it's going to be a lot shorter than the episodes that you've been used to. I can't say that you are used to. It's been a while since these have been posted. But I hope you enjoyed the new episode 1 of Thoughts from My Car. For those of you who want to get in contact with me, to leave me feedback on this episode, suggest content for future episodes, questions, or what have you, you can reach me in the following ways. By email, you can reach me at inbox@s.g.n.r.photo. That's inbox@s.g.n.r.photo. Now, it's very important, that's not a .com. It is not s.g.n.r.photo.com. It is inbox@s.g.n.r.photo. That's an actual real email address. If you send me an email to that address, I will get it. So don't worry about there not being a .com or a .ca in there, or a .net or a .org. Inbox@s.g.n.r.photo. For your comments, questions, suggestions. If you prefer to send everything in through Twitter, on Twitter we can be found at s.g.n.r.photo, all as one word. And of course, if you'd like to turn something into content directly, if you want to challenge me to create content based directly on what it is that you're presenting to me, you can always add the hashtag AskSGNR, or Ask Some Guy Named Rob. That's what it stands for, AskSGNR. Hashtag SGNR, whether it's in an email, whether it's attached to a tweet, or even a comment that's posted on the Facebook fan page at facebook.com/sgnrphoto. That basically lets me know that you want me to create something directly based on what you're asking me, or a comment that you're leaving me, or what have you. So do feel free to add that hashtag. We have a few of those to get to. And those are going to be the videos that are coming in the next few weeks. So until next time, until the next episode 2 of Thoughts from My Car, I'm Rob from s.g.n.r. Photo. I thank you again for joining me. I hope you'll stay with me. Drive safe.